More. Hello everyone, Eric Lee here. You watch my YouTube vlog in which my sentimental thoughts come from the heart and soul, and my mental oddball shenanigans come from the mind and brain. This is EML77 TV, episode 714 of the vlog. How's it going, everybody? June the 25th, 2020, 8:16 p.m. Welcome once again. On the last episode, I talked about my 25th anniversary of my first job in the real world. Check it out if you'd like to. If you're curious about, and I'm sure I may have a lot of questions of who the people were in that pic with me. If you notice the male in that pic, that was me at 18 years old, and the three lovely young ladies you see there were my favorite co-workers I've worked with over the years. Very honored to work with them, and I consider them great friends. They're good people, good folks, and and they're actually best friends and best friends. So, which is really, really cool. Come to find out that they were bridesmaids at, in fact, the two small young ladies, the tall brunette, her name is Carolyn, and she looked like a cross between Cameron Diaz and Yasmin Bleeth of Baywatch. She joked about it when I said that comment. She didn't say David Hasselhoff. I'm like, I'm gonna leave. She laughed. I got the joke, but I told her, and then I said, "Hey, I got the entire Knight Rider series on DVD, which is totally cool." Anyways, yeah, the tall brunette got married, and the two, Kelly and Poppy, were her best friends, and they were her bridesmaids at her wedding, which is totally cool. So I was like, and I said, that doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me one bit. They're your best friends, and they're awesome people. So, rock on. Gotta love it. Let's see. Now, I want to talk about something cool. All right, something cool. Given the circumstances that has been happening this year, how many of y'all want to all travel back in time to, say, 80s and 90s? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. There's got to be a lot of folks out there. I grew up in the 80s. All right? I grew up in the decade of decadence. I grew up in a decade where a lot of things have happened. And me and my friend Peter Lucas was talking about how the 80s were just awesome, and we kind of missed the 80s. Well, my friends, I have found a Facebook page that perfectly describes what we should be known as. Us Generation Xers. Forget Generation Xers. Forget Millennials. Forget Zennials. Okay? Forget us being boomers. Okay? Because the reason why we're the word boomer, you're talking about earlier than the 80s type deal, but it's more of an offensive old person insult. Forget all those names that we've been called, because, ladies and gentlemen, I have found the perfect Facebook page, and they have a podcast. These guys have a podcast as well. It's considered by I'm going to go up a little bit here. According to Chartable, that it's a top 200 comedy podcast, and I will give you all the links in the description, including the Facebook page. They have podcasts in 3 different places. You can listen to the podcast on Apple, Pandora, and on Spotify. That's right, Spotify. That's pretty hilarious. Spotify. Put it on Spotify. Yes. And they combined 2 special words, or describe themselves as idiots for the 80s. So they thought, how about idiots? That's right. Whoever loves the 80s are idiots. Idiots. That's what it's called. I'm an idiot. Not an idiot. Idiot. And also, I've been an idiot since 1986 when I was a Red Sox fan. And the Red Sox refer to themselves as idiots. And Johnny Damon started that phrase. But now, idiots. We're idiots. I'm an idiot, and if you love the 80s, you're an idiot too. And that puts a smile on your face. So I am an idiot we're all idiots. I just a lot of people probably look at it and you go, what kind of weed he smoking, man? I don't smoke weed, my friends. I don't do drugs, man. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. So you think something's wrong with me, you better guess again. Because I'm perfectly fine. Yep, idiots. That's right. Anything we love about the 80s. That's, like I said, the idiots, I didn't make up the name. To be honest with you, there's a group, there's a couple guys, a couple people out there, they have their own podcast. I want to give them a shout out because I love everything about the 80s, and these guys, if you want to know anything about the 80s, anything, all the younger people out there that like to call us boomers or anything else and be cynical and say you suck and all that good stuff, check out, you want to get educated about the 80s, check out the podcast of the Idiots. That's right. I'm going to send you the link in the description of this video after I'm done here, and I would be more than totally happy to I'd be more than totally happy to send you and just say, hey, listen, we've heard about this guy who loves the 80s and he considers himself an idiot. So an idiot is basically an idiot for the 80s. That means you love the 80s. You're a fool for the 80s. You love everything about the 80s. You want to be an idiot? You want to learn more? Educate yourself the ways of the 80s. This is the group, all right? It's called the Idiots. Check them out, and I figured, give them a shout out. I don't think they have a YouTube or even a Twitter account, but I'll check it out. If they do, I'll let you guys know, and I'll probably change the description. I can edit the descriptions in my videos. So there you go. That's how we're going to work it out. So yeah, and Kmart was part of the 80s, part of the vintage shopping back in the day. I used to shop at Kmart at Dartmouth. It used to be across the street from the Dartmouth Mall, man. It was totally cool. We used to have one in Fairhaven. In fact, was it a couple years ago it closed down? Yeah, so it's been all that time, man. Seriously, I miss Kmart, and so I miss Kmart, I miss Zare, I miss Woolworth, I miss Child World. But when you're an idiot, their memories live with you forever. I say it like the Sandlot, forever. So, yeah, I love the 80s. I'm an idiot for the 80s. I'm an idiot. I love being an idiot. If anybody's got a problem with the 80s, then you ain't living, my friends. You ain't living, man. Let me tell you. And very thankful about the 80s. Very thankful I lived in that decade. And I'm just really excited about that. It just puts a smile on my face every single day of my life. And, hey, nothing wrong. I'm loving the 80s. Hey, the 80s were, I got my first start of life, as a, and I don't know, it helped me grow as a person. I got to make more friends, and even at a very young age, and, I got to go to church, become born again, and, I played video games, and just, got into baseball, became a Red Sox fan. A lot of these things have happened to me during the decade of the 80s. It's just, I'm very blessed with them, very blessed, and just, and just, like I said, there's a lot of stuff about the 80s I miss, boo-hoo. So, that's the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles, and yeah, I'm very sad, but back on my feet again. I know I'm being sarcastic, but I'm dead serious. I'm not going to sit here and cry. So I miss the 80s, man. I just really do. I just, I love being an idiot. So I'm an idiot. So, if you guys don't get that, well, guess what? You have no sense of humor at all. You got to stop acting like that, the 80s were, it's not the 80s anymore. I know it's not the 80s anymore. I love the 80s. And, if I can't stop talking about the 80s, these guys can. They can tell you anything about the 80s, man. You can ask them a question. So what existed in the 80s, Did, how did, who was the, anything about the 80s you want to know, these guys, you go to it. They're idiots. They're the idiots. I don't know who they are, but, they do, like I said, the podcast on Apple, Pandora, and Spotify, and they have their own Facebook page. So, check them out. I figured, and and they'll educate you, and before you know it, immerse yourself in the knowledge of the 80s, and you'll be an idiot too. So I just like the fact that, I'm an idiot. Plain and simple. All hail the idiots. So, that's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say. So, that's all I have to say for today. Get out of my way. My name ain't Jay. Are you straight? Are you gay? Or we're already past the month of May and all that good stuff. All right. So that's it. Remember, Idiots Facebook page. Check them out. Podcasts, like I said, Apple, Pandora, and Spotify. And tell him that Eric Lehman sent you and say that he's crazy about the 80s just like you guys are. So I am an idiot. So an idiot is somebody who's crazy about the 80s. So that's it. 714 is complete. I'm an idiot and proud of it. All right. I'll see you later. Have a good and wonderful night.